Yeah. So driver qualification file, otherwise known as the DQ file, that is, it's a government regulation. It's required for every driver that drives a commercial motor vehicle. And so not having one, you are in violation of the law. So this is something that the DQ file starts before you ever even hire somebody. It's the MVR, and we can talk about the details of all that stuff that's in it, but it really starts at the interview process, that application, and then going through, and it doesn't end there. It's every year you have things you have to update and keep in there. I've been through several DOT, FMCSA audits all across the country over the last 5 years. I've lost count how many, but it's like, I feel like one a month.
Yeah.
And always, every time, without fail, they're going to look at DQ files. And if you don't have that stuff done at the beginning, before you ever put a driver on the road, some of that information can't be added later.
Yeah.
So
pre-employment drug tests, right?
Like
that's the number one cause for conditional rating right now, is not being in a drug testing program when you should be.
And the pre-employment clearinghouse query and the MVR, those things need to be done at the beginning. You can't pull an MVR 3 years later, throw it in the file and say, oh yeah, I did this when this guy was hired. And the officers, the investigators that are performing those audits, they know exactly what they're looking for. They know how to detect when stuff wasn't done at the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, it's usually pretty obvious, but yeah, I mean, again, it's a regulated requirement for anybody who drives a commercial motor vehicle, not just CDL holders.
Yeah. So commercial motor vehicle, if you're in interstate commerce, meaning if you're crossing state lines and you're involved in commerce, you are a commercial motor vehicle when you're 10,001 pounds or heavier in your gross vehicle weight rating. And I also want to add, you might be in a vehicle that says your gross vehicle weight rating is 8,500, but you decide to load it to 10,500. You just now made yourself a commercial motor vehicle if they ever weigh you, right?
Yeah, we actually got word, it was around probably this time last year, that this was a focus of the FMCSA across the country to start inspecting, the pickup trucks, the 2,500s or 250s, the 3,500s, those kind of class of vehicles, because of exactly what you just described, where the vehicle the weight rating may be lower than what's considered commercial motor vehicle, but they'll pull you onto a scale. And if you're over, and now you're a commercial motor vehicle.
Yeah. Pickup trucks hauling trailers, your pickup truck alone is not a commercial motor vehicle, but as soon as you add a trailer to it that takes you over that 10,001 pounds, you've just now become a commercial motor vehicle in that combined weight. And then once you hit 26,001 pounds or heavier, that's a CDL. But every commercial motor vehicle driver has to have a driver qualification file. It's not based off the CDL. In fact, non-CDL drivers have a more stringent process in their DQ file because you can't use a CDL in lieu of road test. You absolutely have to road test your driver because they don't have a CDL.
Yeah, I think that's something we see missing a lot
tons.
With construction companies, concrete, asphalt, landscaping companies. We see that a lot where they may have a basic DQ file. A lot of times, I'll be honest, they don't.
No, yeah.
But even if they have a basic one, almost always that road test is missing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is required.
Yeah. So here are the items that have to be in the DQ file. Driver employment application. So then that application has to have work history. We like to see 10 years no matter what. The regulation states that they have to provide the previous 3 years of employment, and then anybody prior to that was FMCSA regulated up to 10 years. I always just tell our clients, give me 10 years. I don't care what you were doing. I want to know what you've done for 10 years with gaps.
Yeah, it's just easier to explain to the driver too.
100%.
Like, just give me 10 years of history, all jobs.
Yep.
It's easier to say.
And then you're collecting their history, so you get a good image of who they are and what they've done and what their experience is in. And the reason I also say that is because also in the application, you have to show what their experience is. So what kind of vehicles have they driven? Well, if they tell me that they've only had 1 year of driving history, but they got a million miles of experience, well, how come that's not on the app, right? So that's why I asked for the 10 years of employment history, no matter what. They also have to provide 3 years of address history with, um, if they have any other addresses that they lived at inside that 3 years, you have to label all of them on the application.